Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Sunday, October 13th, after the Celtics win over the Toronto Raptors in preseason. We're both at the Garden. Sam's in the cafeteria. I'm in a deep, dark hallway where nobody else is sitting, so we wouldn't be right next to each other.
10 feet away, though. There's just a wall.
He's right through the wall. Celtics got a win, and I'm going to call it a dominant win. It didn't end up being a dominant win in the box score, but when the Raptors rolled out their all-star and somewhat regular rotation players versus the Celtics, end of the bench guys, they got whopped. So I'm going to say this was a big win for the Celtics, even though they only ended up winning by 4. Fun game to watch some of the G League guys, the training camp guys, the end of the bench guys, cook a little bit longer, get a little bit more playing time. And when this was actually, the Pritchards and the Jordan Walshes and the Hausers and the Lonnie Walkers of the world, and not the less good end of the bench Celtics versus the Raptors at the end. This was a fun game to watch, even though it was a 115-111 win, not a 30-point win, which it looked like it was on track to be.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you said it best. It was whomping for 36 minutes at least. I mean, the Celtics did not play any of their starters or Luke Cornett or Tillman, and they were up 35 in the first half. Like, that's pretty nuts. That's not something that happens for most NBA teams, to have their entire bench rollout start against 3 of 5 of the Raptors starters and just steamroll them right from the beginning. And, I mean, the usual suspects did have a role in that, like Peyton Pritchard, 19 points in the first half? He was lights out, made a bunch of threes right off rip. They looked super comfortable out there, and these guys have to relish in the, we can actually play basketball and do whatever we want roles. Like, Pritchard talked a little bit about it in the press conference, and he was just like, yeah, I mean, you go out there and you're playing basketball, really doesn't make a difference for him, especially. He's just someone who always has shown he can be creative with the ball and put the ball in the basket. And even when he's with the Celtics, he may not see 20 shots, but he's still going to get some looks. That's why he gets in the game.
Yeah, Pritchard was the best player on the basketball court tonight. That included Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl, and some other Raptors regulars. Peyton Pritchard was incredible in this game. He finished with, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists. He played 23 minutes and barely played in the second half. I don't know. Did he play in the second half? Or was this all first half?
Yeah, he played. Because they rolled out the starters from today's game, and I was like, surprised to see Pritchard and Hauser out there when they're up a million.
He played 6 minutes in the second half, but Pritchard was awesome. I was laughing to myself here while you were talking because Pritchard.
I just thought I was funny.
Yeah, no, we we don't have to talk too much about Pritchard because I do a studs and duds article just talking about the highlights, lowlights, and I didn't even include him as a stud. I just made a note and I was like, he is too good to be in this studs and duds. I want to highlight other players who don't play as much. He's king stud. He does not get his own section. I'm not writing about Pritchard again. So just to quickly move on.
He's also looking fly tonight. Turtleneck.
He was.
Overcoat.
He brought out the drip.
Looking very snazzy. Nice and warm, nonetheless. He needed it in that dressing room.
I was laughing because a few days ago, Missoula talked about the growth of Jordan Walsh, and I wrote an article, and I titled it, new comment about Jordan Walsh should have sicko Celtics fans excited. And that is now my currently my third most
check the
leaderboard right now. Now, people are reading it now. Like, people are Googling Jordan Walsh and reading my article. Yeah.
Your leaderboard.
I want to talk about Jordan Walsh next because this is not the same person we saw in Summer League. This is as far as you can possibly get from the 20-year-old that was bricking shots and looked like he had no confidence. Jordan Walsh put up 16 points, 10 rebounds, an assist and a steal, 6 of 12 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. He looked really, really, really good in this game. And it went beyond the fact that he had 10 rebounds. It went beyond the fact that he had, some points, hit a 3, was driving. Like, he was cutting at the right place. The game didn't look too fast for him. He was hustling. He was crashing the glass in all the right positions on the offensive end. He had 4 offensive rebounds, one of which led directly to the 1 assist he had, which was a laser pass to Lonnie Walker on the other side of the floor. Like, he just looked extremely, extremely comfortable. And I don't think it's exactly bar for bar the role he could play on the team, but it's close enough to where you're like, eyes are perking up. You're like, I see the vision. I can see a world where Jordan Walsh is actually contributing on a team that has, the Celtics regulars. He's looking really, really, really good in the preseason.
Yeah, the exciting part about Jordan Walsh, I mean, Missoula talked about him a little bit, and he was talking about how he's committed to playing his role. He's very comfortable doing what he's going to be asked to do. And coming out of college at Arkansas, I mean, that's what we all knew him for. When we did the draft, I think when we were previewing that draft, we did do a video on him, and it was like, this guy defends, he's long, he's hectic, he's going to work hard, he's going to hustle, he's going to hit the glass. But the question mark, I think he shot like 27% or something in college. Like, it was not good. And we were going into the draft being like, what are they going to do if they pick this guy? Now he's making threes. He's even grown since the first preseason game. In Abu Dhabi against Denver, gets a wide open three on the wing. Kind of like is like, oh, I'm going to shoot it. Oh, I'm not going to shoot it. Oh, yeah, okay, I'll shoot it. I'm still open. They're not going to commit to me. And he was timid and afraid to shoot. Tonight, he was firing off the hip. He was ready to shoot when he was kicked the ball to. And not only that, he's so comfortable now in the catch and shoot situation that he's playing with a rhythm and maybe driving past guys. I mean, he started the game with an and one emphatic loud dunk over Grady Dick that rolled around the rim 5 times and then dropped for an and one. But he had a few great drives in this game where he finished with his opposite hand, took guys off the dribble, and really made them pay when they closed out too hard. So if he's able to make quick decisions like that in a regular season role, he should have at least the O'Shea minutes for himself.
I can't stress this enough, and I feel like a broken record saying it, but the fact that the Celtics are getting guys that they potentially could like on small contracts in the draft with their roster is so important, and he looks like he could be one of them. I want to go to who I think was the second best player in this game, and it's not Lonnie Walker, and I know a lot of people are going to be upset about that because Lonnie Walker was great. Drew Peterson looked fucking incredible in this game.
He's looked good the whole time. The whole preseason slate, I feel like he's been pretty good.
He's been awesome. And it's because he came to the Celtics as like, oh, we're getting another catch and shoot guy. Like we all just kind of like pegged him as like, oh, next Sam Hauser, whatever. He is not Sam Hauser. He is not even close to Sam Hauser. And not that Hauser's not great. Obviously, Sam Hauser is one of the best shooters in the NBA. Drew Peterson is so comfortable putting the ball on the floor, creating his own shots, getting to his spots. Dude got to the free throw line how many times in this game? 10 times in this game. He shot 10 free throws in this basketball game. He scored 23 points on 9 shots. Like he was awesome. He was making good passes. He was pretty active on defense comparatively. I thought some of the guys on the floor at the end of the game for the Celtics were less than stellar on the defensive end. Drew Peterson wasn't one of them. Drew Peterson stock's on the up and up, man. I'm a big fan, and I know Noah and Bobby Krivitsky have a bet of he'll be a regular rotation guy for the Celtics in the next X amount of years. And Bobby Krivitsky is not on the Drew Peterson trainer. He wasn't last year, but I'm on board. I just punched my ticket for Drew Peterson the trade, so I'm here now.
I don't really know if he's a rotation guy just because I don't know if he's built yet, and I know the discussion is not about today. But even then, like I feel like there's been a lot of emphasis on that over the summer, and I'm not sure how much of a change we've seen with that. Bless you, Cam.
Bless you, Cam.
But anyways, he doesn't look like he's quite there yet, but he does have a layered game. He's not out there to just shoot threes. He's making good passes. He whipped a pass across the court today. I think he hit JD in the corner with a left-handed dot that may not have found the bottom of the net, but it was still a good look. I like what we've seen from him. We saw a little bit of it in Summer League where they were asking Drew Peterson to dribble the ball up the court, be the playmaker for certain units within that team. And in the preseason, you're seeing him do it even more. And if they ask him to do that, if you're Baylor Shireman, you have to be a little nervous, right? Like that's kind of the role people are expecting him to play when he's ready to play for the Celtics. If they already have a guy that's doing that and clearly looks more comfortable out there, when he's getting minutes and he's gotten minutes in the past and he's played real roles with the main Celtics who had a good playoff run, I don't know. Shireman just has not looked like the guy we hoped he would be so far. And 4 preseason games are not enough of a sample size to see that.
Yeah.
Not at all, but not a great start.
We can go to Shireman quickly too, because we don't have to spend too much time other than saying like he's just been really bad. Like, and that's fine. You get it. Like sometimes rookies struggle adapting to the speed, to the movement of an NBA floor, and that looks like exactly what this is for Baylor Shireman. He did not score the ball in this game. He was 0 of 6, 0 of 5 from 3. he just looks way too slow, way too uncomfortable out there playing against NBA. Excuse me, got the hiccups. Level competition. Wow, I'm dying. And it's fine. Like I said, he's a rookie. He's got plenty of time. But I said that I thought he could contribute in the rotation over Jordan Walsh this year. I'm going to put my hand up immediately. Very wrong. I was unbelievably wrong, and I'm going to admit it here.
It didn't take you long. You know, Jack, you are a very big person to quickly own up to that take and say
I need to get on top of it.
Very impressed.
I need to get on top of it now.
I don't know if I would do that so
Bad
much
take.
because I'm still hammering home that I think Jaden Springer looks great. And he was okay today, but he's not really doing quite as much as you would hope he would do in these preseason settings.
Okay is generous word. He made 2 threes, but
That's
in
right.
almost a completely flipped of everything else that we've ever seen of him. That was the only part of his game that was good. He had like a 1 defensive stand. He hit those couple threes. But like Noah and I were talking about it. It looked like Joe Mazzulla like yanked him from the game because he did something he didn't like, because he didn't see the floor for a long time in the middle of this game. Like he was not, holding up well on offense. He was not, handling the ball at the level you might have wanted him to based on summer league. His defense was all right at times, but at other times it looked like he was like just trying to rush it. Like he has not looked like the player that I know you want him to be, and I thought he could be as well at times. Like it's just been a really wonky preseason for Jaden Springer so far, and it's not been a great look.
Yeah, this had a very similar feel to that first game in Abu Dhabi where we were very excited heading into it. And it was like, what is this guy going to give us? He is someone who brings good defensive energy, and if he makes his jump shots, could really be a nice contributor and almost like a found money type of guy. And then he goes out there and really doesn't do anything and takes a couple bad followays and looks a little bit out of control. The next game he comes back, plays great defense, makes deflections, makes a 3, and we're like, oh, is he trending in the right direction? And then you get today, and you're like, well, now the 3s are going in and nothing else is there. But if you told me like 2 weeks ago that he'd go 2 for 2 from 3, I would be nodding my head. I'd be like, this is the vision. It's not dead yet.
Unfortunately, it just came with everything else falling off a cliff. He has time to bounce back.
What did it cost? Everything. That's what it is.
Yeah. Lonnie Walker, I mentioned him earlier. He had a J.R. Smith stat line. He had 20 points, no rebounds, 1 assist, 8 of 15, 4 of 9.
Nothing but buckets.
Yeah, I think the difference in this game for me was he was just playing within the flow of the offense rather than trying to force it himself. He had one shot in there where it was like, all right, brother, let's calm down a little bit. And I thought defensively he was a little bit shaky. He got blown by a couple times, was out of position a couple times, caused the Raptors to get a few open threes. But he was a bucket, and this is the sort of thing that you are buying when you buy into a guy like Lonnie Walker. And this is the first time we really saw it within the flow of the offense, and it looked good.
So after your first game of actually seeing him with the offense, what do you think of his future?
I still don't think he'll make the team, because this is not, for as good as he was and as good as I think he could potentially be, this is not the type of player that the Celtics really need. You need guys who are going to fill in very like niche roles, like a shooter who can handle the ball a little bit, a pure 3-point shooter, a defensive. Like it feels like his role is I can get hot if I get a lot of touches, and he's probably just not get a lot of touches on the Celtics. I don't think he's a bad player. I do think there is a world where he could fill a Malik Monk-esque role or a scoring punch role for a team in the NBA. I just don't think the Celtics are the team that needs that type of player, and so I still doubt that he'll make the roster.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the lack of desire to have somebody like that, if that makes sense. I mean, you're not trying to have a surplus guy that is going to need all the extra shots, right? You just don't want that.
For sure. Where to next? Neemias Queta, we can talk about. Got the start because Cornette didn't play, Tillman didn't play. I don't even know if we mentioned that. I just think it was assumed. None of the starters played. Cornette didn't play. Tillman didn't play. Queta got the start. Good game for Queta. 12 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block. Still can't finish around the rim. 3 of 8 from there. Got a few.
How else are you going to get all those rebounds?
That's true. But I thought he was a good presence defensively. I thought him and Pritchard's 2-man game, which I think got him a lot of those assists that he had, was pretty good in the first half. You can definitely see the improvements. And the thing that I wrote about for like a little like tidbit in the piece that I wrote about him, 1 foul. that's a win, an unequivocal win. That he
It's a
had
W.
one foul. So I thought this was a good game for Neemias Queta. That was, I don't want to say soured, but maybe tainted a little bit by the fact that he still cannot finish around the basket. I can't hear you. You might be muted. Are you muted?
Oh, I'm muted.
Yeah.
The rare mute. Usually I'm okay at that. But yeah, if he's making his buckets around the rim, he could be a completely different player. The lack of fouling is a very good thing to take away from this, though, because that was the big question mark that we had around him going into the preseason. We were like, well, what's the growth going to be? And of all the bench guys, I kind of feel like he's grown the least. I don't want to say I've been disappointed, but I haven't been overly impressed with Nemi at the same time. Not in the same way that I've been impressed with a Jordan Walsh or a Pritchard or a Hauser or even Drew Peterson. Like, all of those guys have made more significant jumps than Nemi. And even if you want to look at the position group, both not Jordan Walsh, Tillman and Luke Cornett have been excellent. Like, he is by far in last place in that 3-man battle for the backup minutes.
For sure. Yeah, he's fallen behind, and it's less of a product of he has been bad, more of a product of the other two have been really good. He just hasn't made the strides I think a lot of people were hoping for. We don't have to talk too much about it, but Sam Hauser couldn't shoot tonight, which it is what it is. Like, shooters have off nights. 1 of 7 from the field, 2 of 11 from deep. He had 9 rebounds, so he was hitting the glass, but he just didn't have it. And I unless you have any other insight, it felt like he just didn't have it. Like, this is what
are you gonna do? He looked a little cold in shoot around. I'll say that. I was talking to Turp, and I almost was like, how many do you think he's gonna shoot before he misses? And then he missed the first 2. So I was like, I'm glad I didn't say it.
Yikes. J.D. Davison was actually okay offensively in this one. He had 9 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, made his threes, 2 of 5 there. Had some defensive, I'll call them problems. Thought he got blown by too many times in that fourth quarter. Contributed to the late game comeback from the Raptors. Do you want to just lump all these guys in together, or do you want to talk about them individually as well? We can lump them.
Yeah, I mean that end of the game group was kind of rough. The game went up in smoke. It's kind of tough to have a minus double digits in a game like this when they were at one point up 35, right? Exactly.
Yeah, Anton Watson also got in the game, 2 of 5, 0 of 2 from 3, 4 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. You could see times where you could see, that's make it like nice basketball play right there, handling the ball a little bit. Then there were other times where you shouldn't have passed that ball. You shouldn't have, moved there on defense. So it was kind of up and down for him. Rum Harper barely played. I don't really feel like going really good or really bad for him. He was 0 of 2, both threes, one of them pretty open. And then Demetrius Skapensev got 15 minutes in this game. He looked real not good. He does not look very good out there. He's slow. He's mobile. Yeah, not in the right position. Can't finish. Can't rebound. He looked pretty rough. But Jay Davison was okay. The rest of that group was pretty underwhelming, I would say.
Yeah, anytime you're coughing up a 25-plus point lead as a unit, I think everyone's just kind of underwhelming. The good news about this game is everybody that's actually going to play minutes for the Celtics looked excellent. You should be excited about. Maybe Hauser's not shooting the ball 100%. Great, but besides that, watch out. Everybody looks comfortable. You're seeing strides from everyone that you didn't really predict. I don't think we thought everybody would be looking like they took a step forward, and it's such a luxury considering your whole offseason move was bringing everybody back.
Yeah. No, we don't have to spend too much time on it. Scotty Barnes looked like shit. He just didn't do anything in this game.
This is unnecessary hate from you. This is very out of character.
You talk about a game. Ow, oh my god! I just slammed my knee into this little thing under the desk. You talk about a game. That's just an insane place to put that. You talk about a game where the Celtics are resting every single star, every single all-star, every single normal guy is in their rotation outside of Pritchard and Hauser. And Scotty Barnes plays how many minutes? He played 26 minutes as he was an all-star last year, and you're 5 of 10 and a minus 27. That's unacceptable. That's really, really, really embarrassing. You can't have a game like that. What the hell are you doing? And then to drag in one of our viral moments from last year, this man Jakob Poeltl is Jesus, he's a sieve. You get him into pick and roll, and Pritchard's either getting an open 3 because he's not, pressing up at the perimeter, or he's pressing up and getting blown by. He is just if you get him in the pick and roll, Jakob Poeltl, you're scoring bucket. Like he's useless.
I mean, one of our best game recap segments was us looking at Jakob Poeltl trying to defend anybody.
That's what this was. It was awful. He was real bad.
You wheezing laughing at him being so far out of position and turned the wrong way. I nudged somebody today. I was like, it feels like we're seeing it with our own eyes in the flesh.
There was one play. It wasn't even Poeltl, but I'm like, the Raptors were just bad in this game, so I'm like dragging them. There was one play in the second half. I just talked to you about how Skapincev has not looked good. He has not been. He can't finish. He hasn't been great. There was one play where I forget who it was. I think it was J.D. Davison had the ball, and they run a pick and roll, and both Raptors defenders followed Skapincev to the paint while J.D. Davison had the ball, and he just made it like, what are we doing? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it's just, I know J.D. Davison's not the best shooter, but that guy hasn't made a shot all night, and you're following him to the paint. I don't know, man. I don't have any other thoughts on this game other than that. Gritty Dick actually looked pretty good as a 3-point shooter, 5 of 10,
6 of 18 overall, very rough.
Hey, I said as a 3-point shooter. I was very specific in my words.
You were careful.
But yeah, I don't have anything else. You got anything else?
No, overall it was exciting to see them beat the brakes off of Toronto, but didn't quite end that way. But they still won 4-0, undefeated.
They won.
Yeah,
got the win. All right. Well, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to Bout Them Celtics on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, and I will let Sam take it out.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, comment, tell us your thought of Celtics-Raptors. You can also hit the bell. You won't miss any of our daily uploads. New stuff, 5 a.m. every morning. Pods, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps the morning after. Other videos in between. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple. All pods and game recaps will be there. So give a follow. You can also email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Send your thoughts on the game there. We'll read them on the pod recording tomorrow. So I think we're going to have a ton because we had Sixers stuff yesterday too. The socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook is the name of the pod. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter is Jack's One NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us.
Taco. Come on.
Taco's having some fun here.
That is bogus. These guys are ridiculous.